Hey, everybody. Welcome to a new season of the Get a Grip podcast. I'm Shane Bacon. This season, by the way, brought to you by Stripe. Stripe helps some of the largest businesses in the world find new ways to grow revenue and fast, from companies like BMW to the PGA of America and my hotel of choice, Marriott. Stripe builds financial infrastructure that's ambitious, and ambitious companies use to launch their boldest products. I'm sure you run into this because I do it. You're shopping online, you get to the cart, and the company you're buying from doesn't accept payment that you have on you, so you bail. In fact, 85% of people that run into that problem get out of the website without buying. Stripe helps businesses avoid these types of headaches. It's tough to stay on top of the changing global financial landscape, so trust in Stripe. You can see all the ways Stripe can grow revenues for your business at stripe.com. Now, Matt McCarty is going to knock out a few of these with us for the next few weeks. And Matt, we talked a few weeks ago about doing this Get a Grip season through the fall. Now, the goal was, you were going to kind of get your feet wet on the PGA Tour, and you were going to go out there and play some decent golf and maybe have a top 5 finish here and there. I didn't think you're going to win the first damn golf tournament you play in. I mean that's unbelievable. I mean, I'm kind of paying attention on Saturday and Sunday, and all of a sudden you're leading the golf tournament. You hit it to 2 feet on 14, and it's wrapped up. That was a quick jump on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And yeah, it has been crazy. Trying to get my feet wet, and I think I just jumped in the pool, head first. So, but yeah, it has been crazy, and honestly, like crazy last few months, but a really fun week as well. And just kind of, obviously very happy with the result, and kind of just how I was able to, handle myself, and play golf throughout the weekend. So it was great.
Yeah, I texted you on Sunday morning. You wrote back, just golf. I kind of said something about, you're playing well again. You're kind of in the hunt again. You wrote back, just golf. Kind of feels like that's been the mentality this summer for you. It's just golf. Like, this dude might hit it longer than me. This guy might like look more professional, whatever the case may be. But for you, it's been getting the ball in the hole faster than everybody else. I mean, how did you find this mindset? When did you find this mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens gradually, and I think, you kind of learn something every day as well. Like, I think I took a lot, honestly, from that 1 week at the Sanderson, like helping understand that even like more so with just seeing these guys, and obviously playing, with Cooch and Harris English the first 2 days there, like, was this really cool experience. And like, just to see like their level of professionalism, especially like both of them like didn't play that well, and to like see it on that side, but also like, for how like level-headed they were, and also like how they were just still like, both of them, like, they miss a cut, they've had great careers, like, it's really not a big deal, but like how much they're grinding like late Friday to like, make a push, or just like hit shots and stuff, to like see that was very interesting. But yeah, I think it's just gradual. I've been talking with a mental guy, Jeff Becker. He's great, like a performance coach for the last, 3 years now. So it's very helpful. Like, our mantra kind of from the get-go was be where your feet are. Like, just moment, like, be in the moment, be where you're at, like, kind of 100% focused. Just, but I think the acceptance that you need to have is a big deal, in order, like, being okay with hitting bad shots and just kind of like moving forward. I think like that comes with, it's just golf. Like, good things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen. Like, you're just playing a game. Like, it's not really like that crazy of a thing. Like, how much you put on it when it becomes a job, and obviously like your scores and playing tournaments and stuff, like, you got to kind of simplify it as much as you can, because if you start like worrying about that stuff, it gets tougher as well, I think.
What made you lean into the middle coach thing? Like, what was kind of the impetus to run into that world? Because obviously it's been very popular in pro golf and very popular in professional sports over the last, let's say, decade. But, for a KFT player that was trying to get their feet in the door, if you will, just to get a full card, I mean, you're talking a few years ago. Like, what made you lean into that space?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like advice from people. Like, I have a great like family team around me. Like, I have a lot of like, good people that kind of do that. So just to kind of like add somebody else, because, I've had my swing coach, I've had Dave Williams since I was like 12 or 13. So like he's honestly been a mental coach for me as much as like an actual swing instructor, like mentor, kind of growing up and everything. But Jeff's great because he's like, he's more of like a basketball guy, and like it's more just overall sports, and not like I'm teaching him about, golf and like status and how everything works. Like, and he does, so like it's great just to have that kind of different mindset as well. And he's, younger guy, but like, 5-8 years ahead of where I'm at in terms of like his business is like, just a good guy and a good mentor to have, to be honest. So it's a lot about life as well as just, that's what it is. Like we're spending half the year out here. It's a lot more than just, kind of hitting the ball around too.
Hey, is there a better place to lead into, or I guess to follow your first victory than going to Las Vegas for a golf tournament? I mean, is this like the best situation possible? You can go from Utah to Vegas and be able to spend a couple days, being an idiot and celebrating the victory.
Yeah, me and my caddy Doss were like, it's either the best thing or the worst thing. We'll let you know at the end of the week, I think. But
that's a good point. That's a good point. A good point.
But no, it's been fun, and it's been crazy. We had a couple of our college buddies were coming in anyway for a conference, so like it worked out well. A couple others tagged on, and they all flew in yesterday, so we had like a fun night last night. And they'll be here for like the next couple of days. So like everybody wants like a few people are coming to Vegas. It's a fun spot for everybody to be this week, so it'll be cool and fun and just nice to like, I kind of the goal, like I wanted to play this week. Like I wasn't in the field. Like my goal was, top 10 last week to get in. So like, I'm excited to be here, but we'll see if we can manage like our energy levels through the rest of the week, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, this could be like the first time you're watching a golfer that's like chugging Red Bull on the golf course. It's like the just trying to find a way to kind of middling that energy level if Matt and company are taking it deep. I mean, we were texting about doing the pod, and it's crazy. You obviously get the promotion on the PGA Tour with the 3 victories and all that. But you were saying, obviously, before last week, you're like, I don't even know if I'm in Vegas. I might get a couple of starts in the fall on the PGA Tour. Like, you didn't quite know what your schedule was going to look like. I texted you this yesterday. I said, do you feel famous now? Like, does this feel different now that you've won a PGA Tour event versus the run you had on the KFT? I mean, are you getting text or messages from people you weren't getting messages from before?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels different. And like, honestly, more than anything, just like being in the Masters next year and like the Sentry and, all those opportunities that come with it, like that's what's, really, really sick, I think. So, but yeah, like looking forward to that. And now like, yeah, it's just a lot with like next year, looks a lot different for me too. And then also like kind of what, to refocus going forward for like these next couple 3. And, I think it's a lot still to like get in the rest of the elevated events for the year and like, to get all the way in that 51 to 60 because guys have played, all year. But, it would be cool to finish the year well enough to, get that year-end exemption, I think, for the Open, and then be in all 4 majors would be pretty sweet. So kind of just focusing on that and honestly like just trying to have fun this week and playing some golf. But yeah, it does feel a lot different. And I think more validating for sure. Like obviously to win a PGA Tour event is a lot different than winning Korn Ferry events. But yeah, the stuff that comes along with it's pretty surreal. So we'll have to figure out when we're gonna take our first couple days out at Augusta, I guess.
I mean, like when you say stuff like this, you say, I'm in the Masters, I'm trying to get into all 4 majors. Like, as you're saying it out loud and you're talking to your buddies and you're talking to your parents and stuff like that, you're talking to your girlfriend, like, is it surreal even to say it out loud?
Yeah, I think Yes, it is. But like, I'm excited to kind of have these opportunities now a little bit earlier, especially as like that's the thing. It's like literally like I've played, two or three PGA Tour events, one US Open and two. So like we're really just getting started as well. So it's exciting to be able to like kind of see next year, and like I'm honestly just looking forward to being able to like test my game against all those guys at majors and everything too, because it's like that's the different level of like this field at Sentry is going to be like crazy, and then like kind of trying to play my way into those elevated events and getting more of those. But yeah, it is surreal, but I think that's the thing, like you just kind of got to keep pushing the needle, I guess. Like it's just golf's so cyclical. I feel like nothing ever ends really, so it's kind of crazy.
I want to go back a little bit to the summer because I've talked to you a little bit about this. I know we talked about it on the Ping Proving Grounds podcast that we did a couple of months ago. You had a 54-hole lead at the Ascendant on the Korn Ferry Tour. You had not won on the Korn Ferry Tour in your career to this point. You know what? I don't even know where you were on the points list. Like, where were you on the points list going into the Ascendant? Were you top 30 at that point? Do you know?
Yeah, I think I lost by one in Chile, so I think I was top 30 the whole year after that event. So yeah, I was like probably like mid 20s, 22 going into the Ascendant, I think. Which is why like I played, because we had those 7 in a row, the week off for the 4th of July, and then 7 in a row after. So I played that full 7-week stretch, like because I was still like, grinding to get enough like points every week. And then obviously played the next 7 as well because, Colorado and then Springfield. And then when you're playing good, you just got to keep going. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been like a long year too in that aspect of, I think this will be like my 28th event this week, this year, which is kind of wild. It's like, it's a lot of golf. So I think now obviously having that, next year and everything too, like being able to kind of shut it down, in the next few months and take a break moving forward to next year now with like, and really be able to focus and kind of come out the gates hot and try to play my best golf in April now, I guess. So I think that's the goal.
All right, so for people that don't know or people that maybe didn't follow your journey over the summer, so you have this 54-hole lead at the Ascendant, you shoot 75 in the final round, and I believe, for most players, easy to leave dejected, right? You leave and you're frustrated, what happened, what the hell went on there, and you went on to win to the next week. Like that was the first of your 3 wins on the Korn Ferry Tour, and you talked, I think a couple of weeks after that, you said that final round was huge for me in terms of the quick bounce back you had. What did you take from that 75, and how different would you have handled that, let's say, 2 years ago versus how you handled it this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think like being able to take out of, the week after Colorado, being able to take out that like, okay, like I hadn't made the cut there the first 2 years I played in it. I set their 54-hole scoring record, I think, going into Sunday. So like, those are probably, for a course that I, didn't really have great experience on, those are probably the 3 best rounds of golf I'd played up until that point, So to do that, pro? Yeah. And like, very similar with kind of what I told myself after last season at French Lick, honestly, was like, Saturday, like I played the best 7 holes. 9 holes leading up to 18 that I had played, probably in my life, So to kind of have that and like, that experience is very similar, I feel like. So being able to like, it took me probably 6 months to realize it after the Korn Ferry season. And it took me like a week after Denver because I kind of already done that similar, So, and that's the thing about golf too, is like, I mean, like just putting myself in contention. Like I was in contention a lot more this year than I had been the last couple of years. Like I've had some good finishes the last couple of years, but last year was a lot of like more kind of backdoor, top tens, top fives. Like you played good on the weekend, but you weren't like leading an event or, stuff like that. So to have that experience, like it really just builds on itself too. But yeah, and I think, you kind of you get hungrier like when something like that happens. So to be able to kind of, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Springfield, like me and Dev went down by like Paynes Valley and played there, with Mitch and his caddy, like that Wednesday, and like took the pro-am off, like had like a fun day. It's like, you're playing good golf, just go out there and play and see what happens this week. And like kind of having that, it's just golf mentality, was helpful for sure.
All right, when you look back over the summer, I want you to rank these moments in importance, not in the biggest moment, but maybe the most important moment. The win at the Price Cutter Charity Championship, that was the first one you had on the Korn Ferry Tour, the one you were just talking about. Finishing T5th in Columbus that allowed you to skip the Tour Championship and go play, I believe it was the Sanderson before you obviously got the win, or the win in Utah. So you kind of get those three moments. What of those three moments were the most important moments for you in terms of your year and your summer?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like all three are obviously important. I think the first one probably the most. I mean, that's just, kind of kickstarts everything. But I would say Columbus, honestly, like I didn't think that would be one that you said, but I agree with you that was very important as well, because to kind of do that, and like honestly, like I had, at that point we're just trying to lock up one, so it's kind of a weird feeling in Nashville playing, but to like refocus in Columbus, honestly, and have like a kind of like a ho-hum week, I felt like, to finish like fifth, for me, like made a lot of mistakes and stuff. I think that honestly gave me a lot of confidence just with like where my game was at, and like I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go, play these fall events and see what I can do, honestly. Itching for a little bit more of that, which I think was good, honestly, and kind of crazy, but I think it's, that's kind of how I felt.
And also a big boy golf course. I mean, that's a golf course that will feel very PGA Tour like, in terms of where you play in Columbus. That Scarlet course, always one of the toughest on the Korn Ferry Tour. You're talking about not having your A game and still finishing a top five. I mean, gives yourself that opportunity to go play. Like, I loved you at the Sanderson. Like, I thought you had a chance there. You opened with a great round. And I'm like, this is a great golf course for Matt, man. He's going to play great here. But then I was thinking after you won, I was thinking about this yesterday. You play this golf course in Utah that nobody's seen, so you're on the same level as everybody else that's in the field in theory, right? And also, how much does that place look like a desert golf course? Like, it had to have looked just like a Scottsdale golf course, just the rocks were black and not brown, like that was the big difference. I'm sure when you show up there, you go, I know how to play this kind of golf.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, for sure. And I think Sanderson honestly taught me too. Like I played fine. I didn't putt well at all on the Bermuda. So like I got to kind of figure that out by the Florida swing, next spring.
You got some months to do that.
Yeah. But very comfortable. Like, just very like much like home. It was the same elevation as Boise. So like, I mean, but yeah, it's like, I grew up playing, golf courses just like that, and like it was that aspect of it, being the first event too, like a level playing field. Like, a lot of those guys have played that course in Jackson so many times, but it's like everybody's seeing this place for the first time. It's very uncomfortable, like a lot of lines. It's desert golf, it's like tough to pick a line sometimes, so just like knowing that was kind of my emphasis, like off the tee, just pick whatever like is exactly centered, just make like committed swings. Because like and then like obviously just like the greens, the heat, like how far the ball was going, was very comfortable with that as well too. So yeah, it was just a nice combination of everything, and it honestly did feel like home. And that resort is, I mean, it's not quite finished yet, but it's going to be crazy. That golf course is great, and it's going to be crazy when like they're done. That place is really nice and it's crazy with like the views and everything. Like we were literally just saying like all week, we're like, damn, like this place is sick, and it ended up being really sick for us. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, they'll probably let you on whenever you want to go up there. By the way, I think going forward, you're going to be an invited guest whenever you want to go play there. By the way, you talk about distance and the ball going far. The drive on 18, 366. Did you get all that?
Yeah, I pulled it a little bit, which those were like always go a little further. But yeah, I think pretty amped up in that moment. But yeah, it was a little down. It was a little downhill, downwind. I actually didn't I thought I hit that. I kind of stopped watching it a little bit, but I didn't realize it was only 5 yards away from those rocks too. I wasn't thinking we're gonna hit it that far where it kind of does narrow a little bit. But yeah, it was nice. The birdie on 16 kind of helped free me up a little, and it was nice to be able to hit that on the green on 18. I feel and be able to have a walk that I enjoyed too. I feel like I haven't been able to do that after the other three. They've been just the first one, and then the other two have been kind of more stressful coming home. But so that was really nice as well.
And I have a weird theory about this, but you make the birdie on 16, then you make bogey on 17. I sometimes think those help you. It's almost like a little bit of kick in the ass where you go, okay, this thing's not over yet. I'm not done with my job. And in a weird way, you had probably 4 or 5 feet right for par. And I almost think sometimes that helps the situation.
Yeah. And that was the thing. I didn't really hit a bad shot on 17. We landed it right where I was trying to. It just hit a lot farther. It didn't spin much downwind and just took a big hop, and then hit a fine lag putt to 3.5 feet. Honestly, hit a putt okay. I think it was kind of bumpy at that point. But I didn't yip a putt necessarily or anything too. But yeah, it does help refocus and yeah, just to and honestly birdie bogey, it's okay, I would have been fine, par, we're okay still, too, having, right. So, but yeah. And then it was a good, really nice, that 7-iron I hit on 18 was a really good shot as well. In terms to hit it, because that pin, I don't want to leave myself short right, and I could be chipping or putting from down there a lot, or something, or hit it long too. It was nice just to hit it. We got a good number, and it was perfect. So it was nice.
I mean, the family's there, girlfriend's there. Was everybody there all week? Did they fly in? What was the situation with everybody?
Yeah, my dad came in Saturday morning, teeing off, and just hear my dad yell, from the side of one. So I'm all right, he showed up, for the weekend. And then
Dad's here. Yep, here we go.
Yeah. And then my mom and girlfriend, they came up Sunday morning, and then they were there earlier, but they were just watching it in the clubhouse. I guess they didn't want to come out. They said they weren't going to, make it for the whole day. They didn't want to ruin the mojo, I guess, or whatever. But then I saw them on 16. So I guess they must have thought that I had it wrapped up after Eagle on 14, but I wasn't quite there yet at that point.
Still a couple of shots left to hit. So just for people that don't know, we've known each other for quite a while. We played golf. I mean, you were probably in high school, played at Dobson Ranch back in the day. We played a couple of rounds, some tournament golf and stuff like that. I was thinking about this, you've got a shot at the Dobson record now, Matt. I mean, Ches Reeves held it forever. They got his name on in the bar, how many wins he has, things like that. But you could really go after the Dobson victory record now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I did. I met Ches last week, which was really cool. So he was super nice. We're going to get out and play some golf, this winter, I think, in Arizona, which will be fun. But no, to do that. And I need to go back to Dobson at some point too, and just, hang out on a Friday afternoon with the boys again. So they're going to be fired up.
But yeah, it is pretty crazy. Matt. They changed the game and everything. It's crazy. Like they don't do the game anymore. They've got new ownership or something. But all my Arizona
they got
boys
rid of
that were
Friday.
Dobson loyalists.
Yeah, they got rid of the Friday game, which is that should be criminally punished, I think.
I'm telling you, it's like the best money game in Arizona.
But yeah, that is, I think, too, like, I got to get out there, now that I'm, the way I'm playing, I got to try to shoot 59 out there, too. That's been very elusive for me out there. So, but like, you played Dobson, it's doable. But yeah, that'll be fun as well.
Yeah, you can get it rocking. All right, I got a couple questions about your week. What was the best shot you hit throughout the week in Utah?
I mean, that 3-wood I hit on 14 was sweet. I hit the same exact shot on Saturday. Like, we hit it to the same spot where that pin was. Like, it was like the same wind. But I would say honestly, like, I made a really good putts for par on 5 and 6. And then that was like huge for me at that point to like make those birdie 7 and kind of, settle into the round, I would say. So I think that was probably the biggest, more so. But it was weird, like the nerves I feel like really built for me, like on coming down the back nine more so than, just with everything, and more so than any of the, the stuff on the Korn Ferry. So to kind of like feel that and be able to like hit some of those shots, honestly, like that 7-iron on 18, I would say like that was probably one of the best shots I hit too. Like I hit that just perfect, like right where I was looking, last hole just to finish it out. Like, so yeah, I don't know. But I hit it well, and I made, those par putts were big on the front, and honestly I had so many like lag putts. I was hitting it to like 45, 50 feet. It felt like a lot of the day, but it was tough. Like it got windy. Some of those pins were kind of tucked, and just, making good, kind of smart pars in places as well.
What was my dude Dev's best call of the week on the bag? What did he do? What was his shining moment?
That's a good one. Actually, he read the putt on 6. Like I thought it was breaking more. He read it really well, like inside right from like, 12 feet. So that was big, for one that like I kind of wasn't seeing as well. That was nice. And then honestly, like just kind of, we hit the right club on 17. It went a little long, and then a really good number on 18 for him. Like those holes kind of downwind like that, it's tough to judge. And, both those were great. So, but yeah, I mean, Das has, he works hard. He's a good caddy, and obviously like a good buddy. And like when he's out there, he's locked in as well. And he's, trying his best. So I think it's cool to see that, like him, have the success as well. Like, that proves what he does, matters as well. And like, it is like a team, sport in that sense of like, we're doing it together. So for us to both, be able to kind of perform, I guess, that way, and his like kind of understanding that he has for my game and how far I'm hitting shots, that at that point in the day, that point in the round, and also, just to know, like, okay, like this one, we're not going at this pin. Then this one, he's like, yeah, just right at it, nothing, like good number, just swing it. So just to kind of like have that and, talk through shots in that way, of like kind of honestly, like, playing smart golf and then picking your spots to be aggressive. I think that's something in tournament golf that I've learned a lot this year, especially in contention down the stretch of like, you don't really need to be a hero all the time. And like, it's okay to, if you don't like a shot or, you're not, just hit it to 45 feet, 2-putt, go to the next, wait for a good number or something. So that's an aspect to it as well that I think, Dev does really well, which is cool.
How did you guys decide on the like the player caddy situation? I mean, it feels, I know you've mentioned Max Homa, somebody that you've kind of looked up to in terms of the way he goes about his business, the way he plays golf. It feels to me a lot like him and Joe in the sense that you guys like go back, I mean, I think you guys go back to college. I know you guys are true buddies, but how did the relationship in terms of the professional relationship come about?
Yeah, I mean, we went to school together. Dev, I took the 5th year. We were the same age. Dev didn't. So he was working, during COVID, was working, like got a job, like sales job for that year. And my dad, looped me through Q school and kind of, a couple things that summer. But I was like, if I get my card this year, like I'm going to need a caddy for next year. And Dev's like, he's thinking about quitting his job or wanting to like change something anyway. So like in that aspect, like it just, the timing worked out well. But then I knew too, like my first full year on the Korn Ferry, like, I kind of like asked a lot of guys of like, there's a lot of like professional caddies and like you kind of get one and then, but I wanted to like have like a buddy and like to be able to, and I think it was very helpful with the travel and the experiences, honestly, that we've had and everything too, like out there. It's been great, but like honestly, just to like kind of have a buddy to travel with and enjoy, like make the year a lot more fun. That first year was honestly how it started, and like, it was just cool to get a Korn Ferry card and see what we could do, like literally. So, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Who's the coolest person that texts you congrats?
I don't know. Rob McNamara went to Santa Clara.
Nice,
Tiger's buddy.
nice.
So
Yep.
yeah, nobody like crazy, I guess. I like, it was pretty cool, like yesterday on the putting green, like, Ricky walks by, says like congrats, see Gary Woodland when we're out like walking the back nine and he's playing, he's like, hey, like, good work. And it's like, damn, like
Awesome.
that's been, yeah. So that's cool, but yeah, it is crazy. Like just, I feel like I'm seeing myself a lot on, obviously, like my phone is just a whirlwind of stuff, which is great. And I think I've pretty much almost gotten back to everybody as of now. So, but yeah, it is pretty crazy for sure. Like it is very cool. And I'm really lucky to have like, just a lot of friends and family and people following along like with my journey and everything too. And, I think it was really cool for a lot of people as well to kind of watch that weekend and everything too. So like, that's, very cool. And there's, a lot of people that I want to be able to kind of celebrate with too and have a few beers with about it. So that'll be fun as well.
All right, two last things. One is, I think one of the coolest parts about winning is you get reshuffled. And I was looking this week, you're playing with Tom Kim. You talk about up close and personal with some of the great players, right? And now all of a sudden you're going to get a chance to play with them on Thursday and Friday. That's got to be a pretty cool part of the victory, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, on a course that he's won the last 2 times. So I think if we just try to, keep up with him and kind of just hit it to wherever he's hitting it and try to go from there, I think that'll probably be the plan. But yeah, no, it'll be cool. And it was funny because we were like, Dev was making a joke about it, but like, last week he's like, we didn't have a chance in finishing Friday with like how late our tee time was, had like 3 holes and like Saturday is a long day when you got to like finish 3 holes and then, play again. So, having to get up at, like 5:30 when you're like, 10, 11 under and just kind of like wait around for a couple hours, So Dev was like, we got to get out of this category. So that was kind of, an added bonus for the week as well. But yeah, it is pretty crazy. Like, I obviously wasn't in this field, but to see that number now, like on the PGA Tour app, like the commitment list, that is pretty wild as well. But which is pretty crazy.
All right. And the last thing is, I remember I called you, I think it was right before maybe you won your 3rd event. And we were on the phone. It was me and Nitties. We're going to play golf in Jacksonville. And I think I said something to you like, what's it like? You just got your card or they announced you tour bound or something. I'm like, what's it like knowing you're going to get a chance to play Pebble in Scottsdale next year? And you go, Yeah, man, I'm not going to. It's basically what you said to me. You're like, I'm not going to be playing those places. Now you are going to be playing those places. I know the Masters is there. I know like playing all these majors and all these big events is there. Is getting a chance to play the Phoenix Open like as high as it gets for you?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, other than, I think the Masters, just by far for me, I feel like that's, the coolest event to play in. But yeah, like for sure out of, the PGA Tour season, just like the, Waste Management, obviously Scottsdale have a ton of people out there, and just kind of like be at home, for the week will be a lot of fun. I mean, I think, too, like if you look at like the guys that have like won out there kind of like early in their careers too, like Brooks and Scotty, and like it's like a course where I feel like that, the weekend out there is very similar to like kind of a major atmosphere for sure. Like it's probably as close as you can honestly get. Just I think just with everything, like with how many people, and I don't know how many people are like really actually like watching golf all the time out there, but there's still people around, yeah, that'll be fun for sure. Like playing the Waste will be really, really cool.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. Like I said, I mean, 6 months ago, it's like Matt's having a great season. This is cool to watch. And then now it's Matt's a 3-time promotion winner on the Korn Ferry Tour and wins the second start of his like PGA Tour, new PGA Tour career. It's been wild to watch. I'm pumped for you. I appreciate you kind of joining for a couple of these. I think it's going to be fun as we kind of dive deeper into it. I hope that next episode is also a win, by the way. I don't know if you can handle all this, but if we could have like a post-victory chat every time, that'd be awesome. But I hope you're enjoying Vegas as much as you're enjoying the victory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. We got the buddies are in town, so yeah, it'll be sweet. But yeah, no, I appreciate, doing this, and I was excited to do it, a couple weeks ago, and now it's cool that we have more to talk about than just like a 63rd at the Sanderson, so it's worked out well.
How is that 74?
But yeah, I'm happy to, be on and kind of, talk about with you. Obviously, I've known you for a long time, so it's cool to, kind of be a part of it as well.
Awesome. Matt, have a great week. What's the plan tonight? What are you guys doing tonight? What is it like 4:00 in Vegas right now? You guys got a dinner plan? What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know where we're going yet. We're gonna go somewhere. We went to the Aria place in there last night. That was fun. Probably hit the tables for a little bit, I'm sure, and then just kind of see what happens and, keep it somewhat responsible. But we did get a late tee time tomorrow, so I think that's big for the vibes for the week.
Nice.
We can squeeze our first 36 in like a 24-hour window, and we'll manage around that. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh God, I wish I could fly in. This sounds like so much fun. That's Matt McCarty, new PGA Tour winner. He'll be back with us throughout the fall. Matt, appreciate the time. I'm gonna say play well this week, but I'm gonna say this: have fun this week. It should be a fun week for you. And we'll check back with you next week.
Yeah, thanks, Shane. Appreciate it.